Arrested for possession of cocaine under a quarter of a gram with intent to sell, Gregory Vita, who was most famously known for taking care of former Colombo mobster John Sonny Franzese while in a nursing home, has recently taken to uncovering the truth behind his 1990 arrest, which saw his mother Laura and half-brother Michael testify against him. He was convicted and sentenced to 6 1/3 to 19 years and would spend the next decade and a half behind bars. Using the Freedom of Information Act, Gregory discovered many coincidences with his case and former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson's case. The facts have attracted the attention of Gleason's gym owner Bruce Silverglade, trainer Hector Roca, and former junior welterweight champ Homer Gibbons, among others.
Hi, this is Gregory Vita. I just want to tell everyone about the coincidences with me and ex-world champion Mike Tyson. I was convicted in 1990 in a small town called Nassau County in New York. Mike Tyson was in Indianapolis and he was railroaded. Even Donald Trump said that he was railroaded. We both had $30,000 bail on each case. There were two different cases and we both had $30,000 bail. His prosecutor's name was Gregory Garrison. My name, of course, is Gregory. The person who testified against me was my half-brother. His name was Mike. Mike was born on March 26, 1967. Mike Tyson was sentenced on March 26th. Also, Mike Tyson was convicted of rape. The hotel room number in the Canterbury Hotel was 606, room number 606. When the police searched my house, executing a search warrant, they found $606 on my bed, same number. I don't know if it's God or what the story is, but I think me and Mike Tyson, we have to join forces and give these convictions back to, these small counties. It's ridiculous. What do you think about Mike Tyson's case, first of all?
I'm a big fan of Mike Tyson. I always have been. He's one of the very few champions that has given back to the champ. As far as his case is concerned, I wasn't there, so who the heck knows what happened. But I don't know if I believe all the facts that came out in the case and the way it went down. As far as the paperwork that you showed me and the number of coincidences, it's astounding, the number of coincidences between his case and your case.
Two cases that are questionable convictions, and every aspect matches up. Two, I wanted to give a shout out to Homer Gibbons, two-time junior welterweight champ. He's very fond of this gym, and he's going to be coming down to New York in about 2 months. He's definitely going to stop by here. He fought Camacho a couple of times. Really good guy.
Here with two-time junior welterweight champ Homer Gibbons. You have this interesting relationship with my friend Greg, who we worked on the Sonny Franzese videos together. And I was curious, how did you find him? And
Greg was the guy that was in the gym back when I was fighting up there in New York. I remember seeing him in the gym. He worked with my trainer Hector Roca. He knows Bruce Silverglade. So that connection brought us together.
when you heard about these connections with Mike Tyson, were you like, what is he talking about?
Well, when I first heard, I was like, it's a little bit, peculiar, And then you start looking at the evidence, and you start making connections. You're like, is it a conspiracy theory? Is it a conspiracy? Is it something that where they try to railroad boxers? Railroad fight guys that know they're going to fight. So you just kind of, it's kind of strange, to be honest with you.
Yeah, some of the connections, I think we've seen basically the same exact paperwork. The names, Mike Tyson said that his prosecutor was named Greg. Greg's brother's name's Michael. Greg was caught, when the police searched his house, they found $606 exactly, and, in the cushion of a couch. And the room number Mike Tyson apparently was in was room 606.
Yeah, it's kind of like, there's too many things. For me, it's like too many things that are connecting to make you think. Is this something that these numbers that the government pulls out? So they say, okay, well, if they see this comes across their table, and they look at it and go, oh, yeah, okay, so this is one of the guys we're gonna stick big time. We're gonna shoot this person. Yeah, I don't know. I know Greg's an upstanding guy and a man that I respect dearly, and to think that he's been railroaded.
Another interesting similarity between the two cases has to do with the second prosecutor working Mike Tyson's trial, Barbara Trathan. She worked alongside Gregory Garrison and was quoted as saying, "Mike Tyson is a wolf in sheep's clothing who used the cloak of Christianity to get an excited teenager up to his hotel room." Greg Vita actually had a witness also named Barbara, who was scheduled to testify in his behalf that he never sold drugs and wasn't even living in his mother's house prior to his arrest. Unfortunately, the trial moved on without her testimony, as the judge was eager to hand down his sentence. In both cases, it's clear the judge refused to issue jury instructions, which most likely would have altered the outcomes. Mike Tyson's attorney, Alan Dershowitz, elaborated on what more than likely happened in room 606 that night.
The only issue in this case is what happened in that room on that night. There was possibly a terrible misunderstanding here between a man who understood the rules that operate between professional athletes and rock stars on the one hand and groupies, and a young woman who acted like a groupie, behaved like a groupie, came to the room like a groupie, and then decided after it was all over she didn't want to be treated like a groupie.
What is it with fighters and tragedy?
Well, first of all, they're in the spotlight, so everything that happens in their life is magnified. Fighters in general, they're a rough stock. I mean, they come from a different breed of people, so trouble follows them. Women like the opportunity to be with somebody that think, afford them the glamorous life. A lot of boxers go through divorce. I mean, most of the boxers I know have been through one or two divorces. And it's just, you get caught in that lifestyle. And you don't know how to break away from it.
Both Mike Tyson's and Greg Vita's trials share the same eerily biased narrative where the prosecution used exaggerations and hyperbole to convince the jury they were looking at a monster in an attempt to dissuade them from seeking evidence to the contrary. As systemic racism plays a large part in the prosecution of innocent people, so does corruption within our judicial system, from the district attorney all the way down.
Listen, Ed, you're in prison, you're in something that's totally new to you. You know what I mean, on this kind of level. You get provoked, I was provoked, and I said things, and things happened, and I did my time for it. And it was it, and it was over.
Was there a lesson that came out of it?
There's some people in here that lie, you know what I mean? They don't look to the situation, you know what I mean? Because they have the authority, their way is the right way.
And you're talking about the prison guards who are here?
Absolutely. There's people here that are good people, don't get me wrong, they're good guards here, but you must think of the mentality that it takes for somebody that want to be a prison guard, to have a dying thumb on somebody, to put their foot on somebody's neck, you know what I mean? It's the authority mostly, perhaps, just the authority, being under that kind of authority from a person, which, in my mentality, I would say, this person wouldn't even clean my toilet. And then, of course, power is addicting. Anybody wants power, regardless of what kind of power it is. They want it, and I guess this is their way of showing their power.